It's cool. It's crazy. Yes, it is. Okay, here. That condition one.
Okay, presentation today is going to be on stropping blocks by Chuck Massaro. This was a presentation that he did at the Northeast Joint Clubs Conference back in 2025, and he gave me permission to do this. I saw him last month and asked him if he wanted to do this, and he said no, he preferred that I do it, and he's also in Scotland right now. So let's it's really another way to stroke a block, or a lot of us call it season. So here's probably the method a lot of us do. If you look at these blocks, they kind of look a little thick. It's you can see right here that they don't look really nice, and it's real heavy looking. And there's another one that's got a lot of excess thread around it. And this particular block right here, do y'all see anything that's looks weird on this block? I guess one thing I see is that you've got three different color lines. The line is stroked in a pan, and then this seasoning or stroking of the block is a different color, and this one is also a different color. But look at the number of loops and all, and you know, it's not very clean looking, but this is the way a lot of people do to stroke their blocks. It's pretty typical in the ship modeling business building. Here are some examples from models that Henry Culver did. He was he worked at the Naval Academy, and he was at the conservatory there, and he did a lot of re-rigging of the past historic ships. And if you look, you know, everything looks pretty clean. You can see right here the stropings, and you don't see a lot of excess heavy thread. Here, look at this block right here. You can see this block is roped, and you don't see a lot of heavy thread wrapped around it. And a lot of what Chuck learned was from studying what Henry Culver did on the restoration of these ship models. It's very clean looking. I mean, this is really magnified up, and we move on. And here he's got this block right here, where the two arrows are showing. He's showing that instead of one long wrapped seizing, he's got two just very small seasons attached to this block. And this look is a lot better than what you saw in those earlier examples of what a lot of modelers do. I don't know if any of y'all have ever tried to do a faux splice. I've got an example up here that I went to a rigging class with David Athershall, and he was showing us how to make a faux splice, and it was you went in and separated layers of rope, and it was kind of hard to do, and then you wrapped it with other thread, and there's a simpler way to do it. And so here are the tools. I've got examples of it up here of what's needed to do this. You got your blocks, your little scissors. These are cataract scissors, I believe. Of course, you got tweezers and a little awl and your rigging line, and then you got some very thin line here to do the seizing with. All right, so the way Chuck does it, he first makes a loop. This is a line here that will be wrapped around the block. And here he's got a line that he'll be using for the seizing. It's a very thin line. He basically runs the line that's used for stropping around the block, and he uses this. He pinches it with his fingers. I have not yet quite mastered that yet, but I use a third hands device to hold my blocks. But and then he uses CA. Now, I know everybody will say, "Oh, you don't use CA on rigging because it'll make it yellow, or it makes it glossy, and what?" And you've heard rumors that CA will deteriorate and it's not used for museum quality models. But he's, as long as I've known him, he's always used CA. And you just take and wrap the block, put a little CA on the end of a toothpick, and then you touch the block and the seizing rope, and you just wipe it off, and it doesn't leave it shiny or discolor the rope in any way.
What thickness CA do you use? Thin or medium?
I just use the medium. I get to use thin on any of my models. It's in Hobby Lobby. I've got it right here. And the CA, you don't want to put much on it. You just want it to kind of like hold the rope there so that you can maneuver the block around with the line to be seized, and you can, as you can see right here, he's put it on there. He's taking his finger and just wiped it off. You don't put much, and it really hasn't discolored anything. And it.
The issue is when what you got to watch with this CA, especially with the thin CA, it can walk up that line. You put too much.
Oh yeah.
It'll walk up the line and then stiffen it, so it won't look natural. It'll be angular where you don't want it.
Yeah, I just use very little, and so far I haven't had that problem. But yeah, I use CA also to at the end of a line, I'll take, if I want to thread something, and I'll coat the line with CA and wipe it down and let it harden, and then take a hobby knife and cut the edge off, and it makes a nice little needle point. But you got to use the right size seizing. Here you can see he's using 220, the Mara bread that is really nice. And so he's put this loop around here, around the block, going to be seen. And with your thread, I've got 150, and he's got 220, and the 150 is small. I can't imagine what the 220 is like. It's the higher the number, the smaller the line is. But you take that knot that you had just wrapped around, you do it tight, and then you move it up the block to try to pinch the block. And then you touch, I touch it with a little more CA, then wipe it immediately off. And all it does is just holds the thread there. You don't want to soak the line or anything. Just touch the block.
I've got a quick question.
Yes.
You say you wipe it quickly off with what? A rag?
Fingers.
Doesn't get stuck?
No, unless you use a whole lot. But I have yet to, on rigging line. I believe me, I've left plenty of skin on planking using CA on the model. But
Ryland, what kind of knot is that? Just an overhand knot?
Just overhead knot, yeah. This was a sample too right here that I was slipped over. So you slide that up, and then you take and you hold one end of that line that you use to wrap, and then this is the other free end right here, and you kind of just pinch this with your thumb and in the block, and then you can wrap, and you can see this line comes on down. It's all right. So then you take the other end and just wrap it around. Now, it depends on what you're doing. If you're putting on a thimble or a hook or something, I only go about 2 wraps because you want to get that hook and thimble as close as possible to the block. But if you go just like terminated end here, I'd go probably 3 to 4 wraps. That's what I've been doing. And I've got an example here on my battle station. All of that was rigged using this process. And you just you kind of wrap it, and then you put a little CA on it, and then just wipe it immediately off, and it dries almost immediately. And I've even taken and putting just kind of like blow on it, or just go with it close to your mouth to get some moisture on it, because that'll set the CA really quick. And once you wipe it off, before it sets up, it will. You won't have any shiny spots or discoloration of the road.
Ryland?
Yes.
Has anyone used anything like what live fisher people use, an apparatus for doing CA?
I do.
So I do too.
Yeah.
And you can do the same stuff without all the CA by just having your third hands holding something.
Yeah.
Use the vise on a gallows rig to keep the line tight, and
Yeah,
I can manage it
use
easier.
my third hand here, which I brought up. I have a magnetic third hand, which I love that thing. The old one I had was all these little screws you turn to tighten everything, but this right here, it holds everything. You'll see it a little bit, but this is what the season looks like. It's nice and neat, and let me see if I can. This, it's real neat. You got these little thin lines here that need to be trimmed, and so then you just take your scissors, snip it off, and if you got any fuzz left over, you can put a little drop of CA, just a little one, and take your finger and kind of roll it around, and it makes a real clean knot. So. And then if you're, like I say, terminate this line, you can add another season a little farther down. And here again, you can see the seasons that Henry Culver did on his rigging, and it looks a whole lot better than those thick wrappings that you saw earlier. So, and then here you take and you want to make sure you cut off the right end, but the end that's not going to be attached to anything, you slice that on a diagonal, and you wind up with a very nice season. That looks a whole lot neater, and and you'll see here a little bit that this block is it's smaller than the head of an eraser. So it turns out really good. Of course, you can have bigger blocks, but a lot of us work in 164. So here are some samples with the hooks on it, and all this looks a whole lot better than this right here, which is a typical boggler season. And again, that drill bit is, this thing is probably 5 times larger than what the actual size is. But these right here, it's just nice and neat. So
You don't need to do it 100 times.
yeah. But so here is, you add a hook. This is something that you can look at these size blocks. This is probably something for a 1/32 scale, and this is probably 164 to 196. But yeah, this can be used for a lot of things. But for a hook, and I've got some hooks here that I'll demonstrate a little bit. You start off the same way. He says he uses 220. The problem is it's hard to get this. You have to get it from England, and I went to order some 220, but when I found out that shipping was 4 times the cost of the shipping in the tariffs, it was at that time I don't think anybody knew what the price really was. They just charged a heavy dollar amount, and it was like over $70 for 2 spools of $5 thread. So, and it came from England. I thought I'm not doing that. So just using what I've got.
Let me check, because I know some of the stuff that I was using for my rope making was like a 180 thread, and I bought it from a place in Canada, and I got like a 10,000 meter spool for like, I don't know, $20 to $25.
Oh yeah, this is what 1,000 yards or something, and it's only like $5. Of course, I mean, 223 is just
Really kind of.
yeah, it's small, but I mean, I couldn't tell the difference really between 220 and 150. But here you go. You take and run your line through your hook, and then you do your overhand knot right here on the back side of the loop, and you pull that overhand knot, and then you slide it up, and then take some CA and you just touch it and then rub it off, and it will seal that knot. And then again, you want to hold one end, and then you wrap here. And like I said, when I got a hook, I would only go around maybe 2 times. That's all. You don't want to put a big seizing here because your block is going to butt up against that, and you don't want. A lot of times, like if you're rigging cannons or something, you've only got a limited amount of space there, and you don't want your blocks, almost meeting when you rig. So you want to have as far, you want this as close as possible to create a greater distance between the blocks that you're threading on like cannons. And here you go. You just wrap the tail around, and then you put a little drop of CA, and then you take that end and cut it flush. I mean, this picture doesn't show it as being flush, but you do want to get it up close.
You don't finish with a knot. You're just letting the CA hold the final.
Exactly. You're exactly right. You do not need to tie a knot. And then once you trim it, you just touch up with the CA. And here you can see that your hook is set in the line with the seizing wrapped around it.
Do your last wrap like a clove hitch with the loop. That'll help hold it on tension while whatever you use it as it dries.
And then here you're ready to put the block on. Again, you just slide the block up, you hold it, then you'll take and run some CA along here, wipe it off really quick. And you don't get any shiny spots or darkening of the rope. And then this one right here is, this line is not going to be, it's going to be terminated. So all you have is a block with a hook. So you just take and do another overhand knot at the bottom and pull it tight. And if you pull it really tight, that line will almost straighten out. And it's just an overhand knot, and you need to put some CA on it to lock that knot in there, because it will, if you put nothing there, it's going to come undone. Especially after.
You could theoretically use some white glue though, couldn't you? It just takes longer.
Yeah, you could. White glue would take a lot longer.
You just have to be careful using synthetic lines.
Yeah,
White glue doesn't soak in.
if it were a linen line, white glue is all I used to use until this Mara thread that rope that I'm using is synthetic, and I like it because it doesn't shrink or I rig my midway with linen, and it's sometimes the rigging is sagging and sometimes it's tight. Depends on the humidity. But yeah, you pull that granny nut tight and you put a little CA on it. You let that go, and then you take and cut the tails off, because you don't want to cut the wrong line, but you want to get it as close as possible so it's very, very clean. And so this creates a post splice, and this is what you wind up with. And you can see that's very clean. And that's a lot better than these bulky.
That looks awful.
Big difference. But just want to thank, this is Chuck's presentation. He did it, like I said, back in 2025, I believe, at the Northeast Conference. He also explained this on his model ship world build. I believe at the time it was his speed wheel that he was working with rigging cannons. That was part of the little project that I did with the Ship Model Society in New Jersey. And that, that's how I learned that process, really. I used the traditional way that we were stropping blocks on my Medway longboat, and there is a big difference. So that's the end of the presentation. And this part of the presentation, do you want me to go on?
What else you got?
Well, I was going to stroke some blocks. I didn't get on the way you should stop sharing, but it's up. Not going to share anymore. I can show you how it's done if y'all want, or if anybody wants to try it, I'd be glad to show them how to do this. I've got everything laid out right here. Let me we'll have to switch cameras. Which camera is?
We can get this one right down at that level if you want.
Well, the camera's overhead.
That one.
Yeah. Actually, you catch three.
We gotta pay attention.
Let's see what we got.
Cold. Yeah, I got a t-shirt on, not bad.
Yeah, I normally have. Those Chuck's hooks.
Yes.
I got some for my cannons. I was worried they might be a little too big.
Beef up the hooks at all, so they're photo etched, right?
They're plastic.
Well, like for the Canon, then you're welcome to look at it close.
You got it. Did you try to round the hooks any, or did you use them right off the tree?
I just used them right off the tree.
You did. They look really round.
Well, they look, yeah, they're flat, but they look rounded.
Yeah, they look really nice.
All right, let's
cannon's almost about the size of my cannon. It's really good work, Ron.
I take it he's using, 4-strand rope for the breaching rope.
I think
Look at it, it's got 2 strands above the cascable
Yeah.
and 2 below.
Yeah.
So he's using, shroud blade rope on that.
All right.
Can you get on to do that, rope making again?
Ryland, Kevin, yeah, where did you get the thread?
Do what?
Where did you get the thread from? Or did you take it?
Chuck gave it to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to his house and he had a lot and all, but here are the tools that we've got. I mean, these cuticle scissors, I mean, I like them, but this is what he uses, the cataract scissors, and they are sharp. They really are. But I mean, these are the tools, and I use, here we have a place called Hobby Lobby. And I think this is $3.99. They used to have a little. This is a 1 ounce, but they used to have a half of an ounce, and I always bought that. I had never, in all of my ship modeling, used a whole tube of CA. It always goes bad before I can use it, and but once the life for me is about a year. But these are the blocks that I'm using. As you can see, they're really small. So we'll pull out a block.
These is new 3D printed ones.
These
Ryland,
3D printed. Yes, sir, Kevin.
if you keep your CA in the fridge, it'll last forever, almost.
You keep it in the refrigerator?
I know the problem, but you need to deal with it.
Yes.
Mrs. Boss.
Yeah, I don't know if my wife would like that or not, but
No, that's the
Hey,
problem.
Hey, Ryland, another thing that seems to work too is if you put it in a small plastic bag, it'll last.
oh, really?
Yeah, it'll last longer.
What the heck? What's been in there? Oh, there you go. Good God.
That's a pretty gripping plastic bag.
All right. These are small blocks, and this is something that I cannot do unless these are some glasses I bought that are 300. The 300s, and then I use optimizer on top of that. Now I can see, but so this is I'm going to use this thread here. This is not siren thread, but I've got to make some more because what Chuck had, I was going to buy some from him, but he's hasn't opened his shop back up yet. And let's see, this is the 150 that I have, and as you can see, that this is very small thread. Yeah, I don't know what 220 would be like, but this is and believe me, my fingers are just like
I can do it in this cold. It's cold.
yeah, I can't even get a.
Doesn't help that your fingers are dealing with a refrigerator.
Yeah,
right
no,
now.
Yeah, the room that we're in is
freezing. We turned the ice box on for sure.
Gloves on, that'll help.
what the heck? Naturally, that your own line like this, it's not going as good as.
Can you tilt the camera a little bit more toward you?
Like this.
Yeah. That's good right there.
Yeah, we can see your hand now.
All right. Yeah, I've got a coat on. Normally I don't wear a coat in this room, but it's, all right. All right. Well, editing.
Really?
As you can see,
Tell you when they're too hot.
all right. I had a piece of wax paper. I don't know what I did with it, but maybe I can. All right. So let me get some CA out. Normally I put this on wax paper and always try to keep the nozzle clear. And so I had a piece of string here, and where did that go?
You have your drops. So here's this, and then you lost the other one. Oh,
Oh, here it is. All right. So we will take and I'm gonna pinch. I normally
oh, I see.
do that with
Just do one side.
no, I'll get the other, do the other side here.
Over here in Hills Bay, there were about 100. Well, I haven't done.
Yeah, I would think one of those fly fishing things, put that thing in, spinach.
All right.
Sees that thing up in a
Smart for
heartbeat.
fly fishing now.
Like that for solder and saying. Heavier and you say this is too small for that kind of a change?
No, I don't
I can.
know that it is, but
Oh.
in fact, the one gentleman on the side here was saying who did fly fishing.
All right.
For the second hand.
Something that spins, but trying to twiddle it around, one at a snap at a time. Depends on what kind of river.
Well, there goes one block. This is not going as good as I thought it would go, but
Like doing math.
That's because you're being what?
Oh, I'm very good at
In public?
Not in school.
No, in public. Math in public is when you're standing in front of a group and all of a sudden you're trying to do the math. Somehow it gets harder in public.
I just wanted to know.
believe me, I don't know why, but it goes,
This thing, I was like, oh, there's no way. Please tell me you didn't do that.
it goes a lot better
That's why.
in the workshop. Than what it's going right now.
Well, South Beach going. I think so. Surprised that I actually said that.
All right.
Getting better and better by the minute.
I didn't get that match, so.
So how's it for
See that?
keep tension on that?
All right.
Like that.
And I forgot to put this on, but that's all right.
Try another.
All right. So we can, this is actually easier to do.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Seasoning is what we're doing.
Serving is wrapping it.
Yeah.
Okay. Sticks and strays. I know cable.
Okay, so I've got my overhand knot up against the block. And put a little CA glue there.
You break the CA off your thumb.
Right.
Sitting there fiddling while I'm eating lunch. What are you doing? We're chipping CA.
I think I need to trim.
Trim the rubber off there.
Yeah.
Slides looked easier. They always do.
And I pull one line back. And I've just a lot of times just run it through. See.
Slide it up.
Yeah. Well, it's not letting me do it. Believe me, it went a lot easier back.
Greg said you got all these people watching.
And you're working in really rough conditions.
Yeah, I don't have my workshop light. I'm working blind.
You know, hold the iPhone light over it.
No, it's all right. I'm about done with it. And I've gone two loops around. Actually, I think it was three.
That was kind of interesting. That's pretty quick.
Once you get set up, it works. You do 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Or 5. You drop 2.
And so this one's done. These I got from Walmart.
Those ones will be really sharp.
Yes. Okay.
You know, I'll try that if I come back like this.
And then I'm going to do another seasoning.
Lady goes, I was shaped like that. We have a copy of Jefferson's bad. I said, you proved to me that was correct. That was a description somebody told Jefferson. He wrote about
We'll do this one a little farther down.
You can't do anything. North-south migration of sand down the damn bay.
Okay, I want to lock this one in.
I'll take care of it. No guy who lives here.
So you can kind of do it loosely and then flat them up. Yeah, that's nice.
The same one botched up myself. Is it? Just whatever storm. Opened it up, but he said the next one could very well close over.
And okay.
Yeah, so can't mind having scaly fingers.
No. Then I'm dipping them in acetone.
One of them is the 3D printing. Picture this with the website.
Okay. This box is
Right here. Yep.
it's weird. I can't even see this.
I have it here in my hand.
Okay.
It looks very clean. Right.
Yeah. And on this, it doesn't make any difference which end I use, but the snip, but spread them apart. Goes better this way. Let me use this. And if you want, you can take and put a little. So there we have our
Attention what I tried to portray.
block that's seized.
Edges of
I can't get it to adjust.
I don't want to have you photograph.
But that's how you do it, you know.
That's pretty cool. Good job.
I got a little discoloration in it, but
There's gonna be some discoloration in the rope anyhow, once it starts to rot and set and everything.
yeah. And here are the blocks, I mean, the hooks that I use, you can do the same thing with that. I don't know if we really need to go into it or not, but these little hooks, I used it on the battle station.
What is that material he uses?
It's a plastic.
Also like a fiberboard, doesn't it?
This is not fiberboard. This is a
Okay.
plastic. It's weird. These things are, this is flat plastic. You know, one side's shiny, the other side, well, I think it's both are, but it seems to work for like rigging the guns and all. You know, we can.
I've got some of those. I don't know if I like them.
Gold longer control is Next on the-
Yeah, it does.
My fat fingers, I don't know if I can get this in there or not, but,
That's like cheating, dip the glue in the, spreading the glue to put a workable end on it.
Yeah, he mentioned that earlier.
yeah, I probably should, but I'm gonna try it first without doing it. And it didn't work.
You definitely need light.
Yeah, I've lost my light. The problem that we're having with the light is that my light runs off of a USB port. And this new computer the museum's got, it's only got, where before we had 6 USB ports, we've only got 2 right now. And so I'm going to see if we can't purchase. Oh, well. But anyway, I think for the, no need to move forward with this. We're just gonna go. Yeah, I should have put some CA on this because this. But anyway, you would take and seize the same process.
Yep.
Of seizing this end, put your block in, and then at the end of the block, you would take and do an overhand knot, and then cut the tails off, and that's it. But I'm just gonna leave it like this right now. But that let's see if I can. This is the way it turned out. And it does a pretty good job. But so that's it for the presentation. I appreciate y'all coming to the meeting, and seems like everybody here is ready to go eat. So we will see y'all next month. Thanks for attending.
Thank you, Ron. Very good.
Thank you very much for having us. Now all we need to do is come eat your food.
Thank you, Kevin. All right, guys, we'll see you.
Don't forget to save it, otherwise, it's not gonna.
Well,
Minutes for you.